Hello everyone, and welcome back to Zelda Speedruns. We have an awesome Zelda 2 Zelda 2 Randomizer standard tournament match for you with Alsoa 999 facing off against Simple. Continuing our coverage of that tournament, the Swiss round 2. And commentating today will be Chromatatlism, I hope I pronounced your name right, and tracking today in the background will be Alan Hafley. Take it away.
All right, thanks everybody. Really excited for the race tonight. Also, and Simple Dude, both very good players. Simple Dude, fantastic vanilla player, holds world records in just about every category, if not every category.
Sorry to interrupt here. We're gonna have to have a restart here. Apparently, it looks like Dude has the ROM messed up. So.
Uh-oh.
I don't actually know how you do a redo in race time, GG, but. Looks like we're restarting. I don't actually know how you do a redo in race time. We may have to figure that out. Yeah, that is a false start.
Well, hopefully we get it worked out.
Seed will have to be decided by Alan Hafley, because Alan Hafley's tournament admin here. And yeah, I see that. We'll fix the crop as well. We'll get them fixed. A little bit of a rough start here, everyone, but calm down. Gonna be fine. And yeah, I am aware of the cropping. Looks like something is messed up there. We'll get that fixed as soon as possible.
Alsoa does have a rather elaborate overlay on his channel that makes the cropping seem like it would be something of a task.
Well, it looks like the cancel command went through. We're just trying to see. Oh, I don't think Race Time actually has a rematch. Let me see if that's a thing. Alan, are you here? Just making sure. I don't know if Alan is here. Alright. We need a new race room. If you could open a new race room for them and give that to the racers. But yeah, sorry about the little bit of a hiccup start here, everyone.
Definitely a fair amount of moving parts in the operation. Surprised we don't run into it more often. I think the ZSR team does a great job of providing really solid restreams regularly for us.
Yep. We're just trying to get that sorted out right now. Alright, looks like they have the new room, so we'll get that open. The streams are going to disappear for a second here, so don't panic, everyone. But this will be just a quick, we're just getting the streams back up here. Gotta reset the trackers as well, and we will be back soon. Just getting everything ready, just getting the runners into the new race room. Yep, we had a false start. Have to reset everything. Alright, Alan, just for your info, you have to reopen the tracker page since that is reset, and you will have to refresh the commentary page, Chroma, just so you know.
Okay. Is that ready now?
I think I need to reset the timer too.
You really did, Vox. You picked a great night to tune in. You're going to see some very good gameplay and some very interesting stuff in the randomizer.
I may also have to refresh the page here. So give me 1 second. There we go. Unfortunately, I do not have the ability to put on music in the middle right now. We're just waiting on everything getting ready. But I actually had a false start in all my restreams myself, so this is also a kind of new experience for myself here.
And the commentator to explain things that you may or may not know, Vox, in the chat. Really, you're going to get a lot better information from the people within the chat. People like Trails know the game really, really well. I know a few things. I'll explain the best I can.
So yeah, they're just regenerating the seed right now, and then we'll be kicking off.
Yeah, Link somehow has these gems that he's got to go put in statues to unlock a seal on this palace where Ganon has a Triforce and Zelda's asleep and she's got to wake up, and that's it. That's Zelda 2. Yes, Simple Dude looked like he was set there for a minute. And that is a different seed code than I saw there a minute ago, so...
Yep, they have rerolled, because also obviously as part of the false start has seen, well, not a false start, just somebody not had, like, one of the race just not having their ROM set up.
Mm-hmm.
Also has seen part of the seeds, so they're rerolling.
Good. And the way things work, we can be assured that the first seed that we would have had would have been fantastic, and that this seed is going to be full of extra obstacles and fetch quest style out of the way things.
What's the approx runtime? I'm not sure why it's not displaying on screen. That should display on screen, but it should be... It can run around 1.5 minutes. Alright, looks like the race is off to start again, so this time for real. This time for real. Commentators some uncommented, Alan Halfley on tracking. Take it away.
Great. Okay, so also a Simple Dude getting ready. I am Chromaticalism. A lot of people refer to me as Chroma. If you have to say my name lots and lots of times, that's probably the easier way to do it. And we've got a countdown, just waiting for that to get set. And then we can take it away and see what this seed has to offer. So there are two parts to the world. They're going to start on the west side. Hints available occasionally from people in towns. Alsoa going left, Dude going right, and we'll see what kind of item opportunities that nets. So Alsoa finds the magic container cave. Potential item here is the raft. So the raft is going to open up a lot of the rest of the map and allow for a lot more exploration at this point. And Simple Dude found the fairy cave. 2 entrances to that, one of several pass-through caves. Alsoa going into the medicine cave for another potential item, and Simple Dude finding Lifetown Saria, where he will get a guaranteed spell. We'll see what our first spell is. And also taking a death. And it's Thunder. Right off the bat, we've got Thunder for Simple Dude. So one of the 2 absolutely required spells out of the way. Oh, we've got double Dairas in the Medicine Cave. So some tricky combat right up front. If you can make it through, possibly some good XP. And another item, potentially. XP, not too bad, but not what you want to see out of a red Daira, especially when you have to fight him in the beginning of the game on attack 1. 100 for the yellow Daira is much better. Or orange. And it's the hammer! We've got the hammer. So assuming we have a blocked new Kasuto, which can appear in a forest tile, or any caves that are hidden behind boulders, that could come into play. And looks like Simple has found the Heart Container Cave, which gives us a magic container. Magic not huge in the beginning of the game. Later in the game, he'll be really glad that he has some of it. Yeah. Combat in Zelda 2 is its own skill set. It's very different from a lot of the other Zelda games. Simple Dude is fantastic at combat. If you see him going up against some of those harder enemies, he's probably going to be dispatching them without too much trouble. And that's an enormous swamp. And I believe the tradition is that we get mad at Digshake for that, or just celebrate him for that. Digshake, the creator of the Zelda 2 randomizer. And now Alsoa going in to pick up his Thunder spell from Saria. Simple Dude stabbing Octoroks and birds right in the face. Celebrate? Never. No, we don't celebrate the swamp. And looks like we've got another town, and this is Raru. We have another guaranteed spell for Dude, for Simple Dude. Yes, that is true. Alsoa did pick up a hammer. And we get the jump magic from Raru. Trail's pointing out we may be skipping some potential hints that are here in this flag set. Some of the townspeople do offer hints, and sometimes those hints are useful things, like where to find an item like the glove that you need to, well, almost guaranteed need to finish a seed. And then sometimes they tell you the raft is in the west. I feel like that's happening like 50% of seeds now, is that the raft is in the west, which it has to be, according to the logic of the game, because otherwise you can't get to the east and finish the game. And speaking of, dude picks up the raft. We're exploring some forest tiles. Sometimes we can run into Bagu on one of those forest tiles, and that allows you sometimes to pass through to another portion of the map if the other side of Saria is on the other portion of the map. And we have a level, and it looks like it is level 1. And Simple Dude is going into level 1. I haven't been able to see if we've had some random key drops, but this could be an ill-advised choice if we don't. The key location... Oh, he does have a key. Okay. The key locations are shuffled with the P bags in palaces, so you can't really count on finding keys in the same way you would in the vanilla game. And so far, navigating Palace 1 pretty well. So the Iron Knuckles can be hit on the way up if you're inside of their hitbox enough, and it usually works well when the ceiling is only 2 or 3 blocks high. It's definitely not the technique that I go with, but I am not going to question any technique that Simple Dude chooses to employ in this run. And Alsoa has been picking up a lot of levels in the meantime. He's up to attack 3. He'll be killing his own Iron Knuckles and Magos with a lot fewer hits than Simple Dude will at this point. But 3-2-4, pretty good starting point. Shoutouts to Frico for level 4 life being the last level you should take. And we have a death on Horsehead. Kind of uncharacteristic and surprising death to Horsehead there. So no item room in Palace 1 as of yet. I don't know if that's something he will try to go and find, knowing that he doesn't have access to any more keys at this point. And Horsehead is dispatched. One gem is in. Level 1 is complete for Simple Dude. This is a really interesting portion of the map that also is in. A lot of narrow pathways and graves. And this looks like it's the Parappa Cave. So this is a pass-through cave. You can tell the difference if you're entering from the left. If there's an enemy immediately upon entering, you're in an item cave. Otherwise, it's the Parappa Cave. And that looked like it could have been level 3 or 6. On Alsoa's side there. Gotta love those 100 experience point Dairas. We've got the grass tile, and it gives us the flute. So we'll see if we get a 3-eye rock later in the seed. If we do, that could be an entrance for us to another palace. Helps us get past the river devil, who can block our path. And Alsoa is looking for the hints, so hopefully we find something interesting from those. The trophy is going to be in the maze. And potential backtracking later if we have a reflect spell that needs to be removed from Ruto, or learned from the wise man in Ruto. And here is the trophy cave for Alsoa. And it's merely a P-bag, but it's a 1,000 point P-bag. I suspect some of these levels we're seeing are a direct result of some 1,000 point P-bags dropping. There's one on Simple Dude's side. Taking Magic 2. And Life 3. Probably Attack 3 in there as well. No, we're going Magic 3. And Attack 3. Man. 1,000 points. I believe 1,000 is as high as they go in the randomizer. And when you get those drops, it usually cuts a lot of time off of the seed, just because you can access places so much quicker, avoid game overs. And Simple Dude picks up his hammer. Writes his notes, gets his bearings, and continues. I think I've only heard one person complain about high P-bag values. I can see where a challenge might be appreciated at times. I generally like feeling like there's some kind of power or control, however unwarranted that feeling is, from those high point values. Raft is always needed. The lightning spell is always needed. Reflect is always needed. Downstab, I believe, is always needed. And then, depending on the seed, some other items may be required. Gloves, that's the one. GP is Great Palace. It is the final dungeon where Ganon resides and spreads his malevolence. And that was level 5, I believe, that Alsoa just found. And gets a hint from King's Tomb that I believe was a pea bag. So, not the most useful hint. And now Simple Dude's in Raru, picking up his jump spell, I believe. No, or sorry, just refilling his life, getting his bearings, and moving on. Got some pesky moas today. And the bubbles. Those bubbles in those jungly forest tiles are really difficult to see. And they sneak up on you so quickly because you're so low to the ground. So no sign yet of an any key or a fairy. Those are the items we're looking for before we can really take some deep dives into the palaces. But with the raft in hand, we do have access to more towns and more item locations in the eastern continent. Alsoa gets a key drop. We'll see if he makes a decision to use those without having the magic key or the fairy spell. The standard for the Zelda 2 randomizer is that you won't be required to go into a palace to get an item for progression, for example, until you've seen either the fairy spell or the magic key. So we're always looking for those. And we've got downstab. Downstab is a little bit broken as an attack technique, and should speed things along for Alsoa when he's dealing with some of those trickier encounters. And Simple Dude discovers the level 3/6 there. And Life Spell is the result of the medicine that Alsoa picked up. I didn't see when he picked that up, but... And the Life Spell. It's nice. Doesn't do quite as much for us as some of those ones that open up the game more, like Reflect. Fairy. And Simple Dude going to pick up down stab as well. And Alsoa taking the raft tile. We're about to see the eastern continent, so lots more fresh exploration to be had here. I believe the way the eastern continent is set up is that there is a north and south division like the west, but you often have this middle level as well where they can appear that will have things like these desert passages with these forced encounters. And we may also see the River Devil somewhere connecting these sections of the map. Simple Dude will be picking up his flute after according to his map and/or tracker. Yeah, often the difference between close races will come with when the palaces were completed. If you had a great palace in the east, for example, and you left the west having completed all of the western palaces, then the backtracking between the west and the east is not ideal. Sometimes it works out so that a simple up and A can take you back to the west and you can cover the ground that way, but if you do have to go back and forth a lot, that's one of the things that can extend the seeds. Sometimes that happens because the items require it. You need something to access the trophy that gives you the spell that you need to go back to New Kasuto to open up the item at the end of the town. And all that. Shield is in Kasuto, the shield spell. In the early game, especially if you don't have the life spell, shield can be extremely useful. At this point, we'd probably rather see something else, though. Simple Dude found the trophy cave and is going to be disappointed by the pea bag. Except that it's a 1000, so maybe not so disappointed. Also, has found New Kasuto with his hammer. And 5 magic containers is enough to get the item. Which is a heart container. We'll take it. It's not gloves, not the magic key, but we'll take it. Jay Coper, is that an offer to come and join me? If it is, I accept. So Simple Dude's going through the jump cave here. I didn't see if there was a section of the map that he hasn't accessed on the west yet. there's some Death Mountain, and it looks like Simple Dude is going to go in, maybe just dipping in to see what he's up against right away and decide whether or not it's a good idea this time around. Having not received hints the way Alsoa did, there may be something that he's searching for that isn't quite sure whether or not he should be exploring before going to the Eastern Continent. And we have one of the items from the Eastern Continent also aside, and it is merely a pea bag. So every pea bag we see in these item locations on the overworld is an item that we want that is probably in a palace. Desert Tile isn't the one that has an item, unfortunately. We'll keep looking for that. And looks like Simple Dude has found another of his missing item caves. I can't remember what was in this one. I missed it when Alsoa was here. I did see that he came in. I didn't see what he got. Great Palace discovered for Alsoa on the Eastern Continent. Looks like in that mid-level of the map. And here's another desert tile. We'll see if that gets us an item. Oh, it was the medicine that Simple Dude that also had picked up in this one, and now Simple Dude sees. And that's going to give him access to the life spell, I believe, is what we got from that. Also, taking advantage of attempting to use the fairy feet glitch to pass straight through this encounter. Unfortunately, misses the frame and has to walk through and take the beating from the angry Lizalfoses with their rocks. I believe that's what they are. That's what I've been told. They throw rocks. And this is the other item cave from the Eastern Continent. You will very often get those invisible moas in here, and they can be really tricky when you're first coming over and exploring and aren't ready for healing and that kind of thing. And the magic key? I'm sorry, I looked away for a moment. Can we confirm that that was the magic key that Alsoa received? So that really opens things up for Alsoa. He can start exploring dungeons freely. Or palaces, I suppose, if we want to be specific and technical. Here's another town, and it is Darunia. Darunia, if we have the child, we can receive another spell. And you can also receive the upstab. And also opting to pick up the upstab, often a good idea, sometimes moderately required. And Simple Dude is taking the dive into Death Mountain without exploring any of the Eastern Continent places. It would be a risk to do that, if you had indications from hints that suggested maybe it was a good idea, then it's often that it can be worth it. But it is a risk every time. And depending on what he finds, could be worth it, but more often than not, is not. So Alsoa has discovered also the Valley of Death, so that's another palace location that he's aware of. And can choose to complete. Except that if it is level 6, it's possible he will need the fairy spell. And now we're headed to Maze Island, where we have 2 item locations and a palace. And here's the first one. And it's a magic container.
Hello.
Jay Coper, welcome.
Yeah. I figured I'd join you. You still got at least half an hour to an hour left here, so...
I really appreciate that. It can be lonely.
And we still got... like 11 palaces to go through. Or... 13, maybe, I guess. Oh, wow. This one is very short.
Wow, so this is level 3 on Maze Island, and it was, what, the first possible room to the right?
Pretty much. There was maybe one room in the middle, but... Oh, that is not going to get him... Well, he wasn't anywhere close to getting past that life level, I guess. So I don't know if he's just going to take life 6 here. I'm guessing so.
Or could cancel and look forward to the next level. Nope, taken life 6.
It should work out okay. He doesn't have to worry about magic leveling too much, so he could just go into strength and life alternating until he until the last gem, and then put the rest of it into light or magic at that point.
Yeah. And attack 5 is not so bad either. Attack 6 and 7 are helpful boosts, but you can do a lot with attack 5. I didn't see what's the cost of thunder.
Yeah, I don't know if it's too much right now, but with 6 containers, I wouldn't be worried about it myself. Like, it'll definitely be castable by the end. So we're still looking for Reflect, though.
Yeah, there was a hint that the trophy is in Maze Island, so finding that gives a potential location. And I don't believe we've seen Naburu yet either, so that's another potential location for the spell. There was also a hint about the child being in Palace 6. So those are potential places where we could get the Reflect spell. Oh, shoot.
I don't know what it is. Sometimes Discord is just bad.
I seem to have had more trouble with it than the average person. So.
Yeah, you're not alone in that.
I said some very thoughtful things, I thought, so if you missed them...
No, we can understand you.
It was not meant to be.
We can understand you just fine. It just
okay.
just pops a little bit more than ideally.
Okay. It's probably because I bought my computer for $100, to be honest.
Could be. Sounds like an awesome deal, though.
It was an awesome deal.
If you could only, like, buy 10 $100 computers and, you know, add them together to get a computer 10 times as good.
If only.
Is there any chance of a boots block here on Maze Island?
I didn't see the layout of the river there.
It doesn't look like it. But it's certainly giving Alsoa the runaround, and it would be awfully nice to have the boots here. As usual on Maze Island.
Simple Dude looks like Palace 5. Those mirrors are quite distinctive. Lovely stained glass work.
Have there been a lot of key drops in the pool?
We have seen key drops. I'm not sure how frequent they are, but I know that Simple went to Palace 1 just off of random key drop.
This is a dead end here. I guess Simple doesn't recognize that.
This room is particularly tricky to recognize for me. Is there anything distinctive between this and the other more open rooms, like the past the, what do you call that wall, the false wall room? Yeah.
So there are two rooms that have when you enter them, they'll have an enemy on the ground and a aerial enemy. That is one of them. And in that room, there's no pillar at the start. There's another room that has a pillar at the start that is an enemy or a room that you can go through. The one with the pass-through wall doesn't have any enemies at the start, so
that's
just
right.
has the enemy back by the statue.
And there is that room, right on cue. And Alsoa still looking for the second drop room, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone spend this long in Maze Island.
Oh, I was really hoping Simple Dude would lure that bubble over to try to get an eco key there.
Yeah.
I have a very soft spot in my heart for the eco key. But turns around with no fairy spell, tries to look elsewhere.
Did Alsoa find the items eventually? Or did he not? Yeah, in Maze Island.
I didn't see if he found the second item, which would have been the trophy.
What was the first one?
The first one was a magic container, I believe.
Okay. Well, that's useful.
And there's the glove on the desert tile.
I wouldn't be surprised either if that glove is blocking the boot, or the boots, and maybe making that one bridge necessary. Though there might be a connector down there too.
So, looks like Alsoa now will be exploring Palace 1. And we'll get to see what the item is. Simple Dude did not pick up the item in Palace 1. Because he was conserving keys at the time. Another magic container.
I would imagine it's going to be a bit dicey getting over 570 XP here.
In Palace 1, yeah.
We'll see if he gets a lucky big drop, or if he decides to take the level or just skip it.
P-Bags have been kind so far this seed.
Yeah, I've seen those 1,000
For
ones
his
coming
sake.
out. Oh, he's gonna take down this Mago. Do we know how much these guys are worth? Or he's...
I didn't see. I think they were low, actually. I think they were in the 100, 150 range.
Yeah, there's no reason not to use Thunder on getting some XP.
Save you a lot of time on Magos, too. They can be a real time sink if you're insisting on taking them down with the stab.
But you don't really need to cast any other spells here. You've got the magic key, so you don't need fairy, and you've got life 6. You don't really need life in Palace 1.
Around Palace 6, we might be a little happier to see fairy available. Still possible without, but well, there is the lava room. If the lava room is required, then you would need fairy. And Palace 1 done for Alsoa. And Crystal's up.
It is Simple finally in the east there? So he's got a...
Yeah, so he's found Nuke.
He's found Nuke Studio. Going to get his fairy spell. I'm sure he'll be happy to have that.
Oh, it was fairy from New Kasuto. I missed that earlier. He's rewarded for having magic by receiving life.
Is Simple gonna fly across this? Have we not seen part of the west yet?
Alsoa, I believe, is going to fly across.
Or it's Alsoa. Alsoa,
I
that's
think,
what I meant.
I think that it's possible we have not. We didn't see the left entrance to Saria. So there may be a portion here that we missed.
Do we know if any items are still outstanding?
Oh, we did see the left side. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So maybe Simple saw it, but Alsoa didn't. Or maybe this was just the fast way back to this palace.
I see.
And it was a routing choice. Which is pretty good routing, really. Gotta give him some props there.
Yeah. It's on top of it. So we're in Palace 6 then, because we've taken out 3 already.
Yeah. That room that we just saw was a pretty good giveaway, too. Oh, those red iron knuckles are worth 200. That's nice.
And the orange Lizalfos also, on Simple Dude's side, 200.
Simple just saw the item cave in the east there and did not go in. That's probably where the magic key was, I'm guessing.
I think you may be right. Didn't recognize that it was the item cave, perhaps.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
We're over Canada, which may be a useful place to visit later.
Over Canada is really far north.
Well, he just jumped clear over it. It was very impressive. I've often found that when I bypass Canada, we actually have to backtrack and visit because we regret the decision later on. In the randomizer, at least, that can happen.
Probably in the real world too, but... Oh, this is a dead end here. the same recognition with the walking enemy and the floating enemy.
Simple Dude goes through a very colorful Great Palace. I liked the way it looked on his screen a little more than on Alsoa's. We'll have to get a better look later on and see if we can name that hue.
Yeah, I think they're both playing on console probably, but Simple's got some sort of modded console.
Yeah, I know he has the stereo modded into there, so I'm not sure what else he's got going on. Ooh. That blue iron knuckle is really giving it to Alsoa. Life spell helps. And upon seeing the fairy, the lava room. Oh, so Simple Dude did recognize the item cave then and got the any key.
I think that was that was the other one.
It was the other one.
I don't know what was in the walking down the stairs item cave, but this was the upstairs one. So
if I had to guess, I'd say it was a magic container. That may be the difference in the containers.
Might be. Oh, wasn't there a magic container on Maze Island? Because there was one in level 1 as well.
Oh, okay. And now Alsoa is backtracking to Canada. Passes through British Columbia onto Alberta. And into Saskatchewan. I'm running with this. I'm sorry. I apologize. Manitoba gives us Samoa. Of course it was P-Bag in the other item cave room. Of course it was.
Oh, we're gonna find out level 6's item.
Artea suggests that if we're doing this to scale, Ontario should be 2 rooms. I suppose it depends on the kind of projection your map is. It is fairly large.
Oh, I guess we had a hint for the child, but we found out that the hint wasn't a lie. I guess, even though that's not a thing in this rando.
Is that a thing in other in Zelda 1 rando or something?
Yeah, it can be.
Oh gosh.
It's a special option.
I don't like that.
So looks like we have to go left at the awkward jump room here. It's kind of a unique layout for Palace 6. Oh, there's also some drops that we could have taken earlier. I think that might be the answer. Yeah, gonna have to go back to start. We don't have to go back to start. You never have to go back to start because from every room you're guaranteed to be able to reach either the beginning of the palace or the boss, but just faster to go back and jump in the Canadian hole again.
And now we are crossing the Ragu Bolognese.
Oh, Simple found a connector cave that took him to the bottom of the eastern continent, so he didn't have to go across the bridge necessarily, but he should find his glove here shortly.
And with the magic key, that's got to be really encouraging, because you know that you can start to really explore palaces, we're still waiting for that reflect spell. And once that's in place, I think we should be good to explore just about everything.
I really don't agree. I don't know why you would take that death at the end of the room. Like, man. I can understand maybe wanting to just take the death and refill, but, or maybe it wasn't intentional.
Again. That's possible.
Yeah.
I know that there are times when I'm doing this where I'll be wanting to draw a map, especially with a particularly difficult Palace 5-6 or Great Palace. And I'll take some of those stretches where I think I can just walk and start drawing and look up and realize that I'm just getting wrecked.
Do you actually draw maps for this?
Occasionally, especially with a trickier palace layout.
Yeah,
I've done it a couple times in Great Palace, and I'll mark things on a piece of paper for Overworld, but I can't keep it all in my head. I'm too distractible. I don't know how these guys do it. How do you do?
But once you start to recognize the rooms, it seems like the layouts end up being pretty similar. Why did he cast Fairy?
No! Oh, that's right. This was right in the beginning. So, but
yeah,
is it faster to die or to do the up and A? It's probably about the same. And here's Barba. Unfortunately, no jackhammer today. But still dispatching Barba with skill and ease.
A pretty smooth fight. I would expect if Simple gets there, he'll have to do a little bit of jackhammer for us, I would imagine.
So magic not going to be an issue at magic level 6 there. And now Simple is exploring the Maze Island, hopefully finding what Alsoa was not able to. And for Alsoa's sake, hopefully it won't be required.
Yeah, Alsoa seems to be in a pretty good position here overall, though. I don't think that there can be a drop on the other side of this, and going through this is really just going to be a waste of time, but Fairy is super cheap, my goodness.
Love seeing that.
Oh, it's got to be on the other side of here, maybe. And also, I just didn't go into these 4 tiles. Nope, it's not there.
And there it is. It's Reflect. So the trophy. I guess also it did pick up the trophy then in Maze Island.
Oh, so he got it, and everyone just
missed
it.
At least we did.
I wasn't even watching half of him on Maze Island. I went to go get water at that time, I think. And I guess this is still the fastest way to the north. And we're never going to be getting the boots, so it's probably always going to be the easiest way.
Seems to be working.
The only thing I'm a little confused by is Alsoa's order of doing things. Like, why did he turn in the trophy and then up an A? And should he have turned in the trophy before he went to P6?
Well, it could be a case of accomplishing tasks as they're remembered, or who knows?
Yeah, that might be it.
And now the big dive into P5.
Yeah, Simple saw quite a number of rooms in this palace, so,
And at the time did not have the magic key.
yeah, so it seemed pretty easy to get through as far as key doors go. He did see the, eco key room, and, did not go through that, so the fairy spell might be all Alsoa needs to get to the end here. Alsoa doing a good job of recognizing the dead end.
Oh, yeah. Those mazes do seem to have a flow to them, like a fairly logical exploration path based on what you see in the beginning. So it's I don't think it's any surprise that Simple Dude is having to explore it. There's the trophy cave, or the child cave that has the trophy.
Yeah. Simple definitely saved time here compared to Alsoa. I don't know why the lawn pauses from Simple. He's just...
I think he's tracking.
Yeah. Definitely seems to be slowing him down as much as anything else. Maybe he needs to track for his sake, but... could possibly have a way to do it a little more efficiently.
Also, it is through the eco key room and continuing to move right.
And it's just a dead end anyway.
I didn't see if in the room before here there was a elevator.
I think there were other options to go anyway, even if...
Oh yeah, it was just...
Oh, there is an elevator right here, though. So Alsoa is in go mode, right?
I believe
Full
so.
dick
He's got Reflect and Thunder and Fairy and the glove and...
The only question could be is if the boots are required to get to any palaces in the east, I suppose, but it doesn't seem like that's the case.
I don't believe so.
Another death at the end of a room for Alsoa.
That hurts. There's Thunder.
Yeah, I'm happy that Alsoa has finally remembered that's a good combat option.
Especially when you're really crowded with 3 and more enemies on the screen. It saves you so much time and life. And here's Guma.
He can take a death here still. Which he might need to do. I would probably just take the death and reapproach this with a full
It's
health bar.
fairly risky to go at it with low life. Most people who approach this do take at least one hit during the fight. And if he's already down to low health before that death happens, that's a fair amount of time.
Yeah, he needs to do it this time so that he doesn't have to retraverse the whole palace. But with the amount of life and magic he has, it shouldn't be any issue.
Yeah, getting 2 or 3 hits a cycle is quite good. And Guma's done.
Oh, so close to another level right here.
I suspect Alsoa is probably reasonably content with attack 5, and levels at this point are, you know, a luxury. Because even on Magic 6, he could cast Thunder and still get some buff spells in there for a Thunderbird fight.
Yeah, the way that spell cost randomization works in this randomizer is really favorable to the runners. Almost always makes the spells cheaper and not more expensive.
So Simple Dude found Naburu, and will not find Reflect here.
Oh, both the last 2 palaces are right next to each other.
Well, that's fantastic news for Alsoa.
Or is one of these GP? Or was GP... No, GP was more in the middle section of the east, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Also, being smart there and not going back for the P-Bag bait. Even if you picked up a 1k P-Bag, it'd still be pretty difficult to get up to that next experience point before getting to the boss.
I think he is in full go mode. Just gonna keep moving right.
He's really played this seed pretty well from what I've seen.
Say so.
Maybe spending a little longer than you'd like in Maze Island. That seemed like the thing that he got hung up on the most, maybe?
I don't know that there was much he could do about it. I mean, just not having luck finding what he needed there right away.
Oh, finally, Simple's seen this cave like 5 times. I think he's going through this because he thinks it might be a pass-through. And now he realizes when he gets here,
yeah.
it's an item. Or maybe he did get the item out of there? No. Now he's doubting himself. And he's like, oh, I never got this.
It happens. It certainly happens. And it's the pea bag.
Well, that does get Simple a level, pretty much.
Gonna get that attack 6.
Yeah.
The levels of the beast.
They do allow you to be a beast at this game, I guess.
Yes, they do. Frico would have gotten more health. That is true. Confirmed. Frico likes to do life 1 or attack 1 challenge, actually. That's his preferred strategy for Randomizer. And Helmet Head is down. One palace remaining for Alsoa, who at this point is clearly in the lead. And this will be Palace 4.
Simple does have better levels, but I doubt that's going to be any sort of saving grace here.
Until a few more of those palaces are taken care of and the Reflect spell is secured, he won't be really feeling comfortable about where the seed's going. So for Vox in the chat, what's considered a good time is definitely going to be relative to the seed that you're in, which you did acknowledge. 130 sounds about right for average. If it's below 130, it was probably ran pretty well. People will be disappointed with that time if it's a really easy seed, though, for sure.
Yeah, the best times are close to an hour. Well, Simple is in the same area as Alsoa now, which means that he might head into Palace 4 without Reflect, unfortunately.
And may receive a temporary serotonin boost at seeing something like the boots, but then ultimately face severe disappointment when he realizes they won't do anything for him. One of our dead ends. Is a little frustrating in Palace 4 that the general way to approach things in the randomizer is to go right, especially if you're in a place where items and the boss are both in screens that you enter from the right. And there are 3 of those dead-end lava rooms. But here we are, we're at Karok, and also employing advanced combat strats here. I'm surprised he's being this risky.
Sometimes you just gotta take a chance if you feel like you might be a little behind.
And he has no way of knowing where Simple Dude is, so don't blame him for that. And looks like it paid off.
Yeah, he probably could have saved a few frames, but otherwise it was a pretty good fight.
Not bad for a race. Not bad for a race. And now
I was
headed to Great Palace.
I was a little curious whether Alsoa would choose to walk out of here. I know that it's a huge pain getting back to the east from the west, though, so not a big surprise.
And was able to take. Was it attack 6 that he just took? Because if so, he's in great shape for moving ahead.
Yep.
Simple taking care of Helmet Head. No problem. And we'll see where he opts to head after this. With 3 more gems to place.
And that fairy feat that Alsoa just had was one of those, oops, I did it perfectly ones. Just push the direction, end up right where you need to be off the screen.
Frame perfect. And there it is, yeah, it's a
Oh, what a starting room.
powerful... Oh, we're going left immediately with Fairy. It's one of these rooms that you rarely see.
I'm disappointed that Alsoa didn't break those blocks as he was crossing the top there.
Yeah, Simple Dude did go into Palace 4. And back out again.
No, Simple does not reflect. You get reflect by turning in the trophy, which Simple does have, but he has not turned it in yet. I don't think he's been back to the west since he got the trophy. Well, that was a long dead end.
That's
Also,
unfortunate.
This room that Alsoa is heading through right now is a drop destination, so that makes any drops later a little dicey.
When you feel like you've seen all the items you're gonna see, and can't figure out where you need them, maybe he thinks he needs the child or something to get the reflect spell, hasn't seen the child, so he's hoping that since he's right there in Palace 4, he'll find it right away and go to Darunia and get the spell, but he is in Darunia, getting the upstab. At least according to the tracker, he doesn't have the child, and I believe that's correct because it's in Palace 6. Up in A's.
It's crazy how much Great Palace changes with mixed large and small enemies. Like that first room with the required fairy is a whole lot different when there's a bird knight at the bottom of that elevator.
Handles the spicy chicken with ease. Oh, but those...
Man, that
fire's traveling. And this room, the... wow! We're getting all the variety rooms from Great Palace today.
I mean, if we see the other fairy room, then that would really be something. Oh, that's an unfortunate time to take a death. Now he's got to make his way through these blocks again. These bubbles are not good.
They're really hitting hard.
I don't understand why there are 2 bubbles. There should only be 1 flying enemy there.
I think the large bubble can be replaced by the 2 bubbles or the giant bot. But I'm not positive.
This is
So,
a
like
new
there.
thing. This is something that Digshake must have added recently, because that never happened in old versions of the randomizer. I saw it in that room. Oh god.
So we only have 1 life left of magic, so unless there's a good jar pickup somewhere... Alsoa's in tight spot here.
Yeah, he might game over, but of course, he's probably got time to game over multiple times and still be okay. Considering the things that Simple Dude still has to do here.
Oh no, okay. 1 life left. There is that stray extra, the 1-up that he might run into. But otherwise, it'll just have to be clean from here on.
Oh, it is the other fairy room! Wow.
Oh, and with 1 life, you gotta be happy about that fairy cost.
Yeah. He's being very cautious there because the lava at the bottom has a bit of a suction property to it, and if you go just a little too far, it'll pull you right in. Oh god, his health is getting low too.
I am very nervous for him.
Well, there's the bottom of the L7 drop. That's another room making drops looking unattractive.
And Simple Dude not recognizing the scenic beauty of Canada decides to bypass it. But he'll figure it out.
Yeah, he'll come around eventually. Was not surprising to see Alsoa up an A after reaching that dead end there. We're gonna have to find a different direction to go.
Fortunately for him, he has plenty of time to carefully explore, and now that he knows something of the layout, should be not too long before we see a Thunderbird.
Alright, to answer Vox's question, this hole right here is called the Canadian hole because a bunch of speedrunners from Canada made a habit of falling into it when they're doing speedruns of this game. It's probably not a bunch. More like 2 or 3, most likely.
More than 1. That's all you need.
Yeah.
There are several named rooms in the Zelda 2 randomizer, and typically named for the runners who had some achievement around there for which it got named. It really is a sort of mythology around the game. It's like how stuff used to be named. There's the child for Simple Dude.
Oh,
So-
I see. So whenever Simple finds something, he marks it, and he's doesn't have like a quick menu to choose what it is. He clicks through it until he finds the item that he's looking for. So like the child is near the end of the list, so he's got to click on it a whole bunch of times. And he just realized that he put it in the wrong palace. He put it in P4, so now he's got to remark it for P6. And Alsoa has found Thunderbird, which is good news for him, and I can't imagine that Dark Link is far beyond this, because we've seen an absurd amount of this palace.
Not enough magic for Reflect, but we did get a shield off. And going for the middle strat.
That's very interesting, for sure.
Unusual, and really costing a lot of life to do that. Now with Reflect, that strategy might work a little better. But still,
yeah,
still pretty risky.
Reflect not only lets you block some of the fireballs with your shield, but it also shrinks your hitbox. It's really weird.
I was not aware of that. I didn't know it had that property to it. That's really interesting.
Yeah, you can see fireballs that would normally be hitting him without have already missed him in this fight.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not all of them miss, and that's the game over.
Oof.
This is really interesting that he's doing these strats. I don't think I can recall seeing anyone else fight Thunderbird this way. Doesn't Simple have upstab? Oh yeah, he does. Alright.
Whoa. That's an
Yeah.
interesting place to end up on the fall there for Simple.
I think Simple was considering ferrying to the right, but I thought for a second there he was going to ferry out of the top of the screen and do some sort of run warp.
Which is not allowed in this, I believe.
No, it's not allowed, and it's usually not even helpful. Considering this seed had 1,000-point P-Bags, I wouldn't guess that it's, rough. Because,
No.
As long as the enemies were dropping them randomly in the start.
We did have some early drops for Alsoa, and we got a raft right away, so there was plenty that was open for exploration right off the bat. I think overall this was a fairly kind to average seed, but certainly not a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, Alsoa's in here with a pretty decent time in GP. So, you know, he's doing fine.
Yeah, without the game overs, this would have been a really, really solid time through Great Palace.
I wonder if he's going to keep trying these Thunderbird strats, if he always does them. I know Trails has said he's watched him play before. I don't know if he knows if he always does this fight this way.
It's fascinating that so many of those fireballs just aren't having any effect on him. He's able to get, on at least on the good cycles, 2 or 3 hits in.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. He's so close, though. Please let him finish this. There we go.
Oh. Simple Dude on Barba. I'm anxious to see some jackhammer. And casting jump right away, so hopefully that's what it means. No! You've let me down. But he's gonna 2-cycle him, so... Or her, I suppose, is correct for Barba. Oh!
Oh, God. Well,
Oh, but Thunderbird's out.
yeah, at least we don't have to fight Thunderbird again. And I'm sure he knows the way by now.
And Simple Dude's still 2 palaces to complete before entering Great Palace. See if he tries to turn in that trophy and get the Reflect spell. I'm very curious to see what's the next step for Simple Dude here. And Palace 5 is a potential next step that he's taking.
Makes sense.
That's a safe bet.
Alright, I think Alsoa is still on his first life here, so... As long as he doesn't jump in the lava in this room 3 times, he's likely got it. He does it once. Yeah. That was slightly unexpected, but not entirely, because, you know, he was out of magic and life, so might as well refill there.
Playing it safe with the fairy strat, honestly, a pretty good idea. Not have to worry about waiting for any rope fire or jumping bots.
Yeah, especially with how
through
cheap
quickly.
Fairy is, and how close he is to the end.
Fairy is free.
And this'll do it.
I've seen a handful of strategies for Dark Link through this tournament. I bet we'll see just a simple approach. Oh. Gets jumped on right off the bat. We're doing the crouching cheese strat. Which is probably the safest one. And done for Alsoa. GG's! Show your support, chat. So overall, very well run seed for Alsoa. We had the Maze Island stuff that took a little longer, but may have been just a result of an unfortunately laid out Maze Island. And other than that, seemed to go pretty well for him.
And we got a friend. How's it going?
Hey,
That
that Alsoa.
GP was brutal.
That was a very unusual short GP, that's for sure.
It felt like you entered at the normal Darklink and were working your way back to the entrance.
You definitely went backwards through some rooms that you don't normally do that in a typical GP, I guess.
The room with the bird night, where you have to go up through the blocks. That's one you don't see through the write-off. And then you got the fairy rooms. Nice and careful on the one with the lava.
Made that mistake at least once.
Yeah, and then it was just a dead end after, so...
Someone acknowledged that in the chat as well, that they'd seen you do that before, so we definitely appreciated and respected the care that you put into that. Overall, I thought that was a pretty well-run seed. Were there any parts besides Great Palace that you felt like didn't quite go the way you wanted them to?
Not really. I mean, my leveling was kind of weird in that I had at least 3, I want to say it was like 3 gems where I was just short of the XP, but opted not to go back for it. Outside of that, I don't think I would have changed much. My routing didn't feel bad. I was nervous the entire time I was on the east because I didn't have boots, I didn't have spell, and I gambled on a 2-room Palace 3.
And seems like that paid off. Picking up Reflect was probably the biggest difference between your run and Simple Dude, who hasn't figured out yet that he needs to turn in his trophy. So he's still got Palace 4 and 5 to go, and Reflect to pick up still as being the main thing that would hold him back from being able to finish. But yeah, looks overall pretty solid performance today. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Honestly, the big thing that routed me back towards the west when I did was a combination of Glove being on Desert Tile and having the hint that P6 had the kid.
And P6 was back in the west, so you figured you might as well back there.
Exactly.
Head back, return the trophy, and saw that you had what you needed, and then you could just go. Nice.
I would be lying if I was to say I was not concerned about a boots blocked Nabaru being required for Reflect.
That did come up. We were wondering if there wasn't going to be something that was boots blocked, but seems like neither of you had to deal with that at all, so no worries there.
Yeah, the boots are definitely well hidden in this seed.
I'm betting they're either in 5 or in 3.
I think that's probably true at this point. We did see just about every possible location except for Death Mountain. I know Dude spent some time in Death Mountain. I'm not sure if he did ever end up finding the item room there. So, yeah, looks like you made some of the right calls there. And congratulations. So...
Does this put you at 1-1 now? Yeah.
2-0 actually.
Oh, 2-0. Sorry.
Yeah, the race that I was supposed to have versus Para was one of the 2 that ended up having some IRL issues with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I think.
Oh, right. Was Simple in one of those 2? I'm not sure what he did the first round. I
don't think so.
Joined this late.
I think Simple might have had the Hangry Canuck as his first opponent, and he finished somewhere around 2 hours.
Okay.
And then there was a forfeit. So yeah, 2-0, solid start, and plenty more good competition to come. So what do you do to get ready for the next race? What's your process?
Usually my process has been try to run one of these every day, if not then every other day, depending on what I got going on. And I kind of need to get my wibble wobble a little more consistent.
Oh, that's the Thunderbird strat there?
Yep.
That's interesting. It's the first time I've seen it. I've heard of there being a center strat before, and seems to be pretty reliant on the reflect hitbox properties. So when that goes really well, what are you looking to see from that strat?
What I'm looking to see is 4 hits every time he comes down. And either damageless or like 1 hit.
So that could be potentially very fast if you do get the 4 hits in. That's interesting. That's new to me, but it's cool. Seems like there's some potential there.
Now, executing it is very different from the theory of it. Especially when you're nervous.
Sure. And you have no idea where your opponent is, and you see the game over screen in Great Palace, and you have to wonder, how close is this now? When am I gonna see that dot done for my opponent?
Yeah, knowing how strong Simple Dude is at vanilla, I figured he had a distinctive combat advantage on me. So I was more going to be relying on rando sense and getting a little bit lucky.
Yeah.
Oh god, my mic is on. Sorry, I just clipped my nose. I was literally just... I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We could use more sound effects. I'll work on that.
Yeah. I think Simple is just uncomfortable with the randomizer in general. He's used to doing things in a very set manner in vanilla, and maybe improvising isn't his strong point. So the way that you approach things in general, just with more confidence in the randomizer, I would say that his combat advantages weren't even really noticed from us watching. I can say he just took down Guma, and his Guma fight was definitely faster than yours, or whatever that's worth.
That's the one place.
I've got
Barbara was pretty fast too. But...
I've got the stream up now, and that was absolutely amazing.
Knowing when to go for the jackhammer and all that. Yeah, I feel like Simple pulls up 100% no major glitches and runs the program in his brain that is 100% no major glitches, and it's just programmed in there and he executes it. And just combat in general, the impression I get is that there are usually plenty of other things strategy-wise that you can do approaching a game, whether it's randomizer or vanilla, that are necessary steps you have to have in place first before combat becomes the thing that starts to shed off minutes from your time. In this case, it's definitely the randomizer routing and tracking that's putting Simple in the position he's in. And just the awareness of, I did pick up that trophy and I can turn it in. If you didn't track that correctly, there's no menu that's gonna show you that you have it. So I feel for him in this position right now. But yeah, not a factor for you. Your combat was fine. Did everything you needed it to. There was a moment when Jay Coper was begging for use of the Thunder spell, and there was one time, I think it might have been Palace 5, where you pulled it out and it basically cleared the room for you.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm not particularly good about doing, is using Thunder to get through combat, because I'm always thinking about, okay, what if I need to use Fairy in the next room? What if I need to cast Life suddenly, because the next room is also really tough combat, that sort of thing.
Good considerations.
Best defense is a good offense.
Except when it's not.
Do we know what fire's linked to?
I don't think we've seen what fire is linked to, because I don't think we've seen fire being used. And we didn't see anything in the other spells that would indicate. Could be reflect, could be, I don't know, spell?
Could also be fairy.
Could be fairy.
My fairy is super cheap as it is, so not really helpful to have fire linked to it in this seed.
It is reflect. True Blue is saying it's reflect.
No, he said, oh, if it's reflect.
If it's reflect. Oh, that's it. Well. Maybe we'll see.
I don't know how you determine if fire is reflect when you're like on the eastern continent or the western continent. I mean, you've got to
need a blue Lizalfos or something to.
Yeah, or you got to find go into Palace and find a Doom Knocker or something.
The red Daras, you can also block their axes with reflect.
Oh,
yeah, that's true. That's true. That'd be the one thing on the western overworld. If you find some of those. Moas?
I don't think it can block the fire drops.
You'd find out if it was spell, I suppose. If it's the right kind of Moa.
Yeah.
I was about to suggest Simple Dude go check out the water tile, but that's not an option. Because that's where the boots are, right?
Yeah, fortunately I don't think that ever can happen in this randomizer.
Well, there was that one time Big Shake forgot to take out all of the logic breaks.
Yeah. But that only lasted for, like, less than a day.
Yep.
Alright, Simple is... well, he's walking to GP right now. I don't think he's going in there, is he? He might be, and then he'll realize that I can't do this yet, and he's gotta walk back to Valley of Best still. So 2-0 is a pretty strong position to be in. You just need to win one of your next 3 to qualify for the bracket, but I'm sure you'd like to do even better than that if you can. But there are going to be lots of strong players at 2-0, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's my thoughts on it is... I'd like to get the one to get in the brackets, and then anything past that is the gravy section.
Yeah. Probably the best attitude. Even if you're one of the best players, putting too much importance on the Swiss is just going to make it too stressful, I think.
I know I've seen you around the Zelda 1 randomizer. How long have you been a part of the Zelda 2 randomizer community? I'm fairly new, so I don't know.
So I started the Zelda 2 randomizer about maybe a couple of months after I started Zelda 1. But I didn't start racing Zelda 1 until after I had done 3 Zelda 2 randomizer races.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Partially because nobody was running Zelda 1 randomizer at the times I was available, but people were running Zelda 2, so...
Go with what's available.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very different, the two of them, but... It's been really exciting. I like the standard format here. You get to see most of the game. There's enough things that are predictable that it's reasonably easy to track. Definitely has its challenges. Alright, we're going back to Darunia. He does have the child. I can't recall if he did pick up the spell in Darunia yet.
If he didn't get upstabbed, he's probably going to want it.
Yeah, I think it's only slightly required for GP.
Yeah, I mean, he can maybe get around it. I don't know if he knows the trick. He does have jump. This would be his last spell.
Well, he's not going into the roof to get the upstabs, so either he already has it or he's just gonna skip it. I don't know because I wasn't there.
Oh, it was just spell. Not really sure why he went through the trouble of getting that. I guess just to get it.
Could also be for a cheap alternative to Thunder.
And is heading to Palace 4, so he's probably on track to be tying up the loose ends and finishing up now.
Alright, well, I'm going to jump out of here, but thank you to everyone who's working behind the scenes to get this restream, and GG's to Simple Dude.
Thanks, Alsoa. Pleasure to talk to you. Good race. Good luck on the next round.
Thank you. Everyone have a good night.
Thanks, Elsa.
Simple Dude runs into the first dead end in his quest to go right and find stuff. And there's another lava dead end. And if I recall, I believe this will take him directly to Karok, so he should make quick work of that and be on to GP to enjoy the lovely surprises that await him with the room layouts.
There's a message for you in Discord. I guess it's not entirely surprising to see Simple make the same choice of walking back to GP. And I guess he's still gotta remember which one is GP as well. Yeah, 7, 7, 8 are really nice finishing levels.
They're fairly complete finishing levels. So should be getting pretty close to GP at this point, I believe. Or what are we doing? We're gonna...
That just refill magic here, as long as he's in the area.
Just as easily up an A when you get to the Great Palace.
Right, I've just been informed that dude still has, or Simple still has a long way to go. So, I believe you said like 50 minutes or something, right?
It might not be quite that long, but it could be. So, but he's got to go through all of GP and find all of the same dead ends that Alsoa did.
Right, so we've decided that just to finish this out, just to make this, just to close this out, we will be actually sending it directly over to Simple, so Simple can enable the mic and you know, ask the questions, interview in the chat there. Simple can enable mic if wanted, and we'll throw it over to Simple as the match is decided at this point. And yeah, just before we head out here, I just want to quickly remind everyone that while the program for today is over, tomorrow there's bunch of stuff that's happening. For example, the Ocarina of Time Randomizer EU weekly race. That's gonna be at 3 PM Central European Time. And a bunch of the Minish Cap Randomizer tournament matches. So in both the Swiss round one, it's Aero Racer vs Lunatic and SCG Sean vs Johnny Game Show. And those are at 5 PM and 6 PM Central European Summertime specifically. But yeah, unfortunately, we do have to cut it here. We do have to braid it over here. But yeah, thank you so much, Chromataclism for Chromataclism. I tried my best to for commentating. Jacob also for hopping in later, and Alan Heffley for tracking. So usually you can follow all of them with the links here. Don't follow me. I'm just a stream type. And obviously also go follow the runners for today. And yeah, with that being said, if you have any final words, we can leave it on there.
Thanks. Plenty more Zelda 2 randomizer tournament next week, week 3.
Yeah, I don't know when Alan is going to put up the new pairings, but this was the end of week 2, so we'll look forward to those and getting some more matches scheduled up there for us soon. So, thanks everyone for watching.
All right.
Good night.
See you next time.